Welcome to episode 7 of Guild Ball Gotchas, where we take a look at the most powerful plays and combinations and teach you how to play around them. Before we get into the episode, I want to point you to my Patreon, where you can support the channel and get cool rewards like extra videos and custom status effects tokens. In this video, we will be covering killing the ball. Ball killing is a tried and true tactic that has been around the game since its inception. The goal of this strategy is to prevent the goal for as long as possible so that you can establish a lead via takeouts. Before we get too far into the episode, let's clear up some misconceptions about killing the ball. Killing the ball is not an exploit. Steamforged is well aware of this tactic and its effect on the game. The rule that prevents you from gaining momentum when the ball is behind your goal line exists to limit the strength of this strategy. When you have a takeout-focused team against a heavy ball play team, one of the most interesting aspects of the game is the puzzle of how do I get the ball, and then how do I put it in the goal. With that out of the way, let's talk about how to set up a good ball kill. The best way to kill the ball, and the way that every team has access to, is distance. If the ball is physically too far away from the opponent's models for them to get to, then they will not be able to use it to score this turn. This usually takes the form of putting it on your side of the pitch, in the corner, with one of your models. But in the later game, it can also mean placing it on your opponent's side of the pitch. The important part is that it is far from their models. The second way is to put the ball on a model that is very hard to take the ball away from. Models with unpredictable movement, close control, 2-inch melee and a quality counterattack are all good candidates. Models with multiple of these are even better. When trying to break a ball kill, there are two main goals we want to achieve. 1. We want to threaten the ball. And 2. We want to keep our players as safe as possible while doing so. Let's talk about threat first. The concept of threat is essentially how far from where your model is currently can it interact with other models. So for a model like Rage 1, the answer is 8 inches. His 7-inch move plus his 1-inch melee. But for models like Obulus, it is a bit more complicated. 2-inch Shadow-like, 6-inch move, and then an 8-inch Puppet Master. So when I say threaten the ball, I mean that we want to place as many models as possible in a place where we can interact with the ball or the ball carrier. Keeping our models safe is significantly more dynamic and varies immensely based on matchup. But in simplest terms, it is also about threat. If you can place your models where they threaten the ball, but are not threatened by any opponent's models, that is ideal. This can be difficult to do consistently, but a medium amount of success where your opponent cannot get enough models to kill your models is close enough to count as success. Let's take a look at an example of a turn 1 ball kill. The fish player kicks off with Shark. Then the farmer player drops a harvest marker with Harrow and tools up Thresher. He sprints to the ball and kicks it to Peck. The kick is good and Peck dodges away from Shark. This puts Peck outside Shark's threat range. The ball has been killed. To break this kill, we are going to be doing 4 things. 1. We will be setting up multiple players to threaten the ball next turn. 2. We will use a few threat extenders we have to increase Shark's threat so that he can potentially get to the ball this turn. 3. We will be setting up a few models to cover the ball's escape route. And finally, we will be minding the opponent's threat ranges, trying to keep our models as safe as possible. The fish player jogs Tentacles as a delaying action, and the farmer's player follows suit by jogging Tater. The fish sprints Sakana over to the obstacle. This covers the ball escaping toward Jackstraw next turn. Sakana is not at risk of dying since only Tater can get to him next turn, and while in cover, Tater can't kill Sakana alone. The farmers take another delaying activation with Peck. He puts Kaki on himself. The fish player activates Grayscales. He sprints and uses Where'd They Go to end up near the bottom of the screen. This puts him out of threat of both Thresher and Harrow, while putting him within charge range of Peck for next turn. The farmers activate Millstone. She puts up Get Out and bumps Thresher forward, then drops her Harvest Marker to turn on Countercharge. The fish player activates Hag and uses Fisher's Lure on Shark and Siren. This Hag decision is fairly complex. Shark does not want his influence invalidated by Thresher knocking him down and standing 3 inches away. So to prevent this, he has positioned Siren right behind Shark to lure Thresher into his melee, allowing Shark to activate fully. The fish player also wants to limit the impact of Thresher's activation as much as possible, so he has positioned Shark outside of 10 inches so that Thresher has to both charge and eat a harvest marker in order to get 3-inch melee. This forces as many resources out of his opponent as possible, while accomplishing our fourth goal of keeping us as safe as possible. With this setup, Thresher is unlikely to do more than 10 damage to Shark. The farmer player has two choices here. He can activate Jackstraw to drop harvest markers near Shark, so that Thresher can use Don't Fear on him. But if he takes this line, Shark will destroy them by sprinting over them, then use Quickfoot and Tidal Surge to allow Siren to threaten Pack. This will also leave Thresher without anyone in his range, so he needs to activate right now or he will do nothing with his activation. Thresher goes into Shark taking 3-inch melee. His activation does 10 damage to Shark and knocks him down. Siren activates and lures Thresher into Shark. She attacks Thresher and gets a momentous dodge. Jackstraw goes, he jogs and teleports, then throws Crop Dusting in order to turn on Thresher's free counterattack. Shark activates. He wants to get himself into a position where he can get the ball next turn and generate as much momentum as possible to allow him to activate first next turn. This will keep him much safer by allowing him to run away from Thresher. Shark forfeits movement to stand up and attacks Thresher. Thresher declares his free counterattack. Shark does a momentous dodge, and Thresher knocks him back down. Shark uses Take a Breather to stand back up and proceeds to take a series of momentous dodges and ends engaging Thresher and up 2 momentum. With the turn ending here, let's look back on our goals. We have 2 players threatening the ball with Shark and Grayscales. We put pressure on the ball during the turn and it forced the opponent to take a suboptimal Thresher activation. Sakana is covering the main escape route for the ball. And finally, we have only a few players in danger. Sakana is in almost no danger from Tater. Shark is on 7 health and could die here, but being up 2 momentum gives us a very high likelihood of going first and getting him out of danger. Siren is standing next to Thresher and will almost certainly die if that is what the farmer's player decides to do. But if he does that, he will likely concede a goal. This was a fairly simple turn 1 example of a ball kill. As you play Guild Ball, you will likely find much more complicated ball killing puzzles. But I hope this video has given you the tools you need to solve those puzzles. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you did, you can help me over on Patreon, where donations as little as $1 helps this channel grow. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know the moment I upload a new video, hit the bell. Hit that like button, it helps other Guild Ballers find this video. In the comments down below, let me know if I missed any important points on breaking up a ball kill. And let me know what gacha you'd like me to cover next. My name is Vincent Curkov, and this has been Guild Ball Gachas.